Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10. This is the 10 at 10 for August 15th of 2024. We got an open house around the corner. Things coming up soon. We've got a great lineup for you here today. I'm Matt. I'm right in here with Elizabeth today.
Hi.
So y'all welcome Elizabeth. She's one of our managers here at MrMaple, and we're loving getting more people on camera. Killed it in the one with Tim, so I appreciate you hopping in here with me today. What do we got first?
Well, right now we have Greenstead Magnificent.
I love this plant. It's a really cool one. We list this as 7B through 11 based on Talon Buckholz's evaluations. I am going to trial this in zone 6 this year. I absolutely think this is the coolest plant. I love the colors. I love the frostedness it gets.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that stand out in our greenhouse from all the other green conifers and such. This one has that blue silvery color.
Typically around 3 feet in 10 years. Nice, compact, dense habit. Kind of a semi-pendulous nature to it. Now, these are grafted. They're a really cool Monterey cypress, guys. The colors on this, though, that's where the Magnificent comes in. I mean, I love the kind of frosty blue shades you get with this one. It's funky. It looks great next to other plants. Really is an eye catcher in the garden, especially in the winter garden. I know when I was out at Buckholz last winter, I just fell in love with this. Like, a lot of things are out of leaf, so obviously the conifers are on full display when you're out of leaf. And this one just, I couldn't believe how awesome it is. A little heartbroken at zone 7. I'm going to try it in zone 6. We're going to trial it and see. But zone 7 through 11 on this one. All right, bringing back a classic Shir Solum, guys. Acer Shir Solum Garden Glory.
This one has that nice orangey pink fall color, and that's why we like it. That's why I like it.
Beautiful classic Shir Solum style leaves, so big round foliage to this one. Absolutely a beautiful tree. Good grower too, typically a little over a foot of growth a year. Makes a great pairing with things like Jordan. I mean, if you love Shir Solums, Garden Glory is a great one to add to your collection. It is an interesting one. You can get a little bit of a chartreusey yellowish color in early spring, but it does fade to a green. I've had yellows to pink new growth in the fall, like you're saying. It's really a showstopper in the fall. Goes through a ton of different colors. If you like Shir Solums, though, you know, great leaf on this one. All right, what do we got next?
Right now we have the Piney Smo Sunshine. These get that like bright yellow new growth that kind of just make it pop.
I love the new growth on this. Probably one of my favorite variegated conifers. I mean, they're a mugo, they're a mountain pine, they got that density to them. Small, compact habit to it. Looks great in a container or in the ground. It's going to add a lot of texture and color to it. Absolutely love the stripes, though. The stripes are really, I think in early spring, this one's candle and putting on new growth. I mean, it just lights up the garden.
It does, and it has that nice mounding shape, so it adds that circular shape to your garden.
Yeah, I love pairing this with something as simple as like a red lace leaf. I think the colors play off of it so well. The deep maroons and the variegation of this. These are going to work zones 5 through 8. Super durable, heat tolerant. You know, it's variegated. Don't be afraid to put in a little bit of sunshine. You're going to love it. All right, what else we got coming back?
So up next we have Lilian Jewel. These are personally one of my favorites just because of all the variegation differences you get, but they also get that hot pink, hot red in the fall.
Awesome plant, guys. Y'all probably know the story behind this one. Tim and I used to sell this one on eBay for like 240 bucks back in the Maple Mafia days for like a liner, for like a little bitty one. This was one of the coolest plants. We first got this from Jonathan Savlich and Del Laux. Del Laux has come up with so many cool plants over the years. This is named for Jonathan's daughter, Lilian. Just an absolute showstopper. Probably my favorite pink on red variegation. And the reason it is because it's the most stable pink on red variegation. I find this one to be, you know, you still want to cut out any all red variegation, all red branches you see in here to promote the best variegation. But you get less of that with this than any of the other pink on red types. So it's really stable, really a showstopper. And it's one of those high drama plants. Yeah. Like you gotta like some flash if you're putting this in the garden. All right, what do we got next?
We have Kristen Lipka's Variegated Weeper. This is a weeping dogwood.
Really cool. And this one does tend to sell out quick, guys. Love this one. Named by Bob Lipka for his daughter, Kristen. The late, great Bob Lipka contributed a ton to horticulture. This is a Cornus Cusa that's going to give you a pendulous plant in the landscape. Typically about 5 feet tall by about 5 to 6 feet wide. You can play around with the shapes though some.
Yeah, definitely in the garden you can stake it up and then have that cascading with the variegated leaves. Makes a really cool feature. The
variegation on this one's so nice. You're still going to get great white Cusa blooms, but the variegation's almost secondary, or the bloom's almost secondary when you got this good of variegation. In the fall, it's not uncommon for it to be bright pink on red. So a real showstopper there. Now this one is going to work zone 6 through zone 8. So really durable Cornus Cusa. They got that disease resistance.
Yeah.
Great for a container too, but an awesome variegated Cusa.
Definitely. All right, guys, here we have Strawberry Spring. This is one of our reticulated Japanese maples.
Yeah, this one's from Talon Buckholz. Talon come up with this one. Absolutely showstopper. Part of that New Ghost series, if you will. We kind of coined the term New Ghost on some of the ones once you quit putting the Ghost series on them. But it is in that lineage of trees from the Ghost series.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in the new growth. It has that pinky, ghosty look to it.
These are reticulated. They will leaf out a strawberry kind of salmony pink in the early spring. One of the most pink, I mean, it really looks like strawberry colored in the early spring with a soft reticulation white underneath it. This one's typically in that 6 to 8 foot range in 10 years. Good grower, nice mid-sized tree for that habit, and great kind of yellows to oranges in the fall.
All right, up now we have Kristen Star. What I like about this one is that orange color it gets in the fall. I know a lot of these have great fall interest, but this one with its green and its orange just gives that like pixelated look.
Really cool plant, named by our friend Bill Taylor down in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We talk about this in our recent podcast about naming trees. And so we kind of get this one thrown into the Area 51 collection because we did introduce it into the trade. But our good friend Bill Taylor really did all the evaluation. Bill and Kristen had this as a seedling in their garden. It rivals Akane for me. I love Akane. Akane is a bit of a wimp though. It's a cool tree from Japan. One of the best spring colors of them all. It can be, neon gold and yellow. Almost looks like it's glowing. And so can Kristen Star. Much more durable. I think better colors overall than Akane as well. This one was growing in full sun down there in Spartanburg.
Yeah.
When I first saw this tree, the tree was already about 6 foot tall, about 5 foot wide. I about fell over. I mean, it was in full sun. I walked up to his garden. He said, "This is a seedling I've been growing for about 15 years. I said, "We got to get this thing grafted." He said, "Well, I've been calling it Kristen Star the whole time." So a lot of the evaluation was already done. So Bill takes good detailed notes. So it was an interesting process for Tim and I. One of our first things we helped to get into the trade, though, we've kind of tried to bring it back to the staple here. It's one of those trees that I think its density, its shape, really lend itself well to a lot of gardens. One of my favorite pairings of this is something like Reuben. Small, dense, gets a little bit of width to it, and I think the colors play off each other really nicely. Great container plant though. A lot of people are really falling in love with Kristen Star and what it can do. It's starting to get more and more popular.
Yeah, this one has definitely been a hit this year.
Alrighty, what do we got next?
This is our current IG shees. Now these I find have been a favorite just for not only the tight clumping of the leaf, but also the structure in the fall when there is no leaves.
They look cool. It's like the bones of the plant. I kind of like some of them that look structurally, architecturally interesting even when they're out of leaf. Current IG was named by our friend Yano-san. He didn't actually find it, but he did originate the name on it there in Japan. The red line, beautiful tree. It's in that Shishikashira family. For so many years, nurserymen in America would see this tree in pictures from Yano-san or in catalogs from Japan and just kind of lust over this crazy red Shishikashira. That's kind of the way it was being sold. It's a little different shape than that, but you certainly can see the Shishikashira in the fall color. This will go through some golden yellows with hints of red in it in the fall. That dense habit to it, though, really shows out. I absolutely love it. I think it's perfect in a Makawa garden or a Shishikashira garden, but perfect container plant.
Yeah, it definitely adds that interest in the container, especially if you pair it with a nice pot.
Yeah, that small stature, typically about 4 to 5 foot, even in 10 years. These are going to work zones 5 through 9. All right, some big sizes coming in here last. What do we got on the table?
This is our Aaga Shigui in a 5-gallon pot.
Guys, these just came in from Buckholtz Farm. They're a great size plant. I don't know if you know much about Aaga Shigui. We love it. It's a small, compact, 6 foot, even in 10 years, so some great sizes on this already. It's a smaller growing tree, so don't be deceived by its small size. It's got some age to this one. Aaga Shigui, one of those almost metallic-y, reflective purple plants. This one came from Japan. Talon first saw it in Japan. He says, "This purple ghost?" And they said, "No, this one only gets 6 foot." And he about fainted.
Definitely one of the ones that is most showiest in our greenhouses, and especially when you get it out into the garden. Like Matt said, those purple metallic colors, but also the dark veining that comes through too.
Yeah, it's a reticulated maple like that Ghost series. It kind of gets a glossy sheen to it. So it gets a little bit more like what I like about wave leaf to it. Now, been noted before in some of our previous videos, but if you play with the sunlight on this one, you can get a lot of different colors. So you can get it lighter purples to darker purples. It's a fun one for a container because you can have it in some sun early spring and then kind of get it in some shade to protect it. But you can get some crazy shades and heavy shade. You can get some weird shades that are almost like pinkish yellow. Some really funky stuff going on in the early spring. More sunlight will give you darker shades though.
Yes. And definitely a good size to go ahead and add to your garden.
Grab you a 5-gallon of these today, guys. They're really nice. We're shipping these out in our bigger box, but not too tall of a box. So grab you one today. Good deal on these. All right, last but not least, we got a Serhus here, but we also got an upcoming open house September 2nd.
We do. September 2nd, it's going to be our big open house, and we are so excited to see you guys.
Y'all know Labor Day and Memorial Day are our big days. We're going to be here from 8 to 5 this Labor Day, guys. Going to be a fun event, a lot of crazy plants. I expect a huge turnout. I think it's going to be wild. We've got a food truck set up for you guys. We're going to be doing a college game day style podcast. So Sean's going to be set up out here. We're going to be bringing some members in to answer questions during the podcast. That'll air as a Mr. Maple podcast. We've never done anything like that before, so I think it'll be kind of fun. It'll be kind of a collector's corner / Maple game day. So we'll have you hop in there with Sean, answer a few questions, bring in some other collectors, be a little bit more of a round table type thing. So let us know if you're coming on September 2nd, you'd like to participate in that. We can go ahead and give you some questions to get you set up for that. I think it's going to be a really fun event.
Most definitely.
All right, we got a Serhus here in a big 7-gallon.
Yes, this is one of our nicer series. All of our series are nice, to be honest, but this one really shows you the shape of how it grows.
These are choice. They're already instant gratification, guys. Lush green, fast grower, over a foot of growth a year. Some of my favorite red fall color, typically deep maroons to fiery reds in the fall. And a great tree for shading out the rest of your collection because of that growth rate.
Yeah, it definitely can shade out your smaller maples when you're looking for that sun protection.
This one's quite vigorous. You're going to love the growth rate. If you want something that gets out there, develops into a nice sized tree, Serhus is really a great choice for that. Very durable too. We list this as one of our most heat tolerant Japanese maples. So this is a good one for full sun, even up to zone 8. Zone 9, you're going to want to give it some protection, but those zone 8s on the East Coast, this one will surprise you. I've seen it grow in a full sun in Dallas, Fort Worth. So a durable plant for sure. One that's a lot of times used as a mid-level overstory. So if you have high pine canopies, I've seen these protecting, the azaleas at the Mobile Botanical Garden. There's a ton of Serhus in that garden, and they're providing some secondary shade for all those little fragile, smaller plants like azaleas down there. They love this. It's an amazing plant. Grab you one today, though. I think you'll be shocked by its durability and its growth rate.
Yeah, it is one of our faster growers, so if you're looking for that tree to go ahead and shoot up, I'd go with the Serhus.
All right, guys, thanks for watching our 10 at 10. Don't forget, September 2nd, that's going to be our big Labor Day event. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.